We have to, you know what I'm going to do is pull up that comment again. I got a comment the other day, and this is, I woke up this morning to a comment on YouTube. It said, tattooed slut. Okay. Good morning to you too. Maybe they were up late feeling bad. Okay. I have a video here about magic. It's called How to Practice Magic. Kind of an old video. And I stand by it. This comment says, "This is nice and all, but I think it's dangerous to only endorse positive vibes only magic." And this is something that I think is a good, I'm focusing on this because I feel like this is a really good, this is actually a really good thing for us to see here. I think it's good criticism. I think it's dangerous to endorse positive vibes only magic because the sad and brutal truth is that you will be taken advantage of and have no way to fight back. Black magic is usually simply defense magic, and it is far from boring, by the way. The generosity sentiment is also very attractive, and of course we should be generous and approach people with kindness before hostility, but again, it's not honest or practical to expect that being nice and generous will actually support your own livelihood. Tons of generous people are deceived into donating false teachers, gurus, preachers, ministries out of the kindness of their hearts and are left penniless and destitute as a result. I liked what you said at the beginning about faith and how it works. Very interesting to consider. I do believe that no matter what you practice or believe in, your heart behind your practice is what manifests, and thank goodness for that. So this person is, I believe, on track. I don't blame them for what they believe, and I think that they have developed their understanding of reality in reality. I think that we have really detrimental practices and wealth generating processes and everything in our world right now. So today we're going to talk about energy, and we're going to talk about how it works to send out energy. So here is my drawing. I had to use Photoshop for this one. So forgive me for not working within the limitations of MS Paint for this, but here we go. Can you see this? Can you see this? Let's zoom it out a little bit, View. Zoom. What's the freaking button for zooming? Oh Lord, I'm so tired. Okay, this is fine. You can look at this. This is okay. Here we go. Oh my God. I don't even know where my mouse is. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I practice black magic, this person says. But never harm. Okay, so what is black magic? Maybe we start there. Okay, first I just want to talk about how energy moves from the body. In the highest, most divine way, whatever energy you want to send out, you have to feel. And you qualify that energy in your body so that you can send it out. So in this case, this person is qualifying this pink energy, and they are sending it out. Hang on. This person is qualifying pink energy. It doesn't really make sense because they're two different pinks, because I made a mistake here, but I'm going to fix it. Hang on. It's because I used a different paint bucket. Okay. So whatever you're sending out, let's say you want somebody to feel the color pink. In this case, we can say love. People associate pink to love. You want somebody to feel love. So you have to cultivate it perfectly in your body before you send it out. You have to feel the love inside your body as you send it out. It's really cool that way because that's kind of how the government, wow, okay, that's how the universe actually governs itself. So you can't just go around causing evil without feeling it in your body. And we on Earth are so far down in our density and our dimensional reality that we have not been able to realize this very simple spiritual truth because we are just constantly feeling the burden of pain, suffering, competition, etc. Because that is how this entire planet functions. If you remember last week, I believe it was, we talked about how Earth is kind of off the track of the path of joy, and we talked about how it's because it's denser, we all kind of get dragged along that denser reality, and it's very hard to be pure on this planet because there is so much expectation of darkness and corruption. That is against the divine right, which is why Earth is shifting, which is why starseeds are here, which is why we're given the opportunity to rise up into our higher way of being. So when you are, this is a cosmic law, when you want to create any reality, you envision it perfectly within your own consciousness first. It's a way of governing the universe because it's a law of feeling something before you create it. So you know if it's good or bad. It's a guidance of your heart. It's a guidance of morality. It's a guidance of, it's checking with you to see, is this good for you? If it's good with our highest good and with the highest good of all, we don't necessarily notice these laws as clearly as we could. So let's talk about cursing. When you want to curse somebody, you have to feel the negative energy of the curse, and you have to feel anger and negative energy radiate out through your entire physical structure before you can send it out. This is just cosmic law. Like, this is just how, it's like, it's just the same as like if you throw something up in the air, gravity brings it back down. Like, this is just pure truth. This is how it works. So if you want to harm me and make yourself feel bad so that someone else feels good, if you think that that's true in your life, you're wrong. It's an illusion. Always, it is better to take care of yourself first and then send out your positive energy from that for the person's reality, even if it appears like you're sacrificing. So when we talk about psychic energy and we talk about protection, and this person's reality, this person's comment was about psychic protection and was about creating, basically the person who wrote the comment was talking about basically fighting fire with fire and saying you will be taken advantage of if you're not aware. And I do think it's good to be aware. Let's open up a new one here and let's talk about how awareness works of deception. So when you are a person who is very negative and very sad, and you're feeling maybe paranoid, or like the world is against you, or like you're hurting, or whatever else, let's do a gradient. That is actually giving you a limited perspective of what reality is like. Hang on. So in your limited perspective of what reality is like, and I'm going to actually change this to be layer, new layer. Okay, perfect. That's not my one. Ah, pushing all the wrong buttons. There we go. Okay. So this is and this is like maybe just the world is So this is your this is your potential for reality is this rainbow strip. And I don't mean to draw Earth in this way to mean that you're separate from Earth. This is your perspective of Earth. And Earth is in this middle place right now of being half in the light and half in the dark. We have potential to create any kind of reality right now with Earth. It is maybe half green and half blue. This is my art, you guys. This is my artistic output for the day. So be patient with me while I create these amazing diagrams for you. That's a nice Earth. Okay, so that's Earth. And so your perspective as a human, as you rise up the path to joy, is going to change. And as you're in this dense reality, you can't actually see. When you're down here in this dense reality, your reality kind of just like cycles in on itself. And this is, we talked about this as far as like this cycle of the spiral as you rise up is bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So this is self, you as a person, anywhere on this. If you're down here, on this part of the journey, you're going to have a hard time seeing. This is kind of like a closed in wall of reality. Be able to see reality, be able to see the highest good. And Earth has been sort of, you know, like we said, it's like in this halfway point of half good, half bad. And this, you might see this lower underside, this darker side of reality, and it's going to be reflecting and reverberating all through you. And so this is, we're talking about depression, we're talking about fear, we're talking about paranoia, we're talking about mood disorders, we're talking about pessimism, even thinking that the world is bad, and you create this reality. So whatever you put out, you create. So this is the reason why we put Earth over here is because like how you're going to be seeing it. So you're going to see Earth in a certain way, and then Earth is going to reflect that back on the same level that you are. Okay, so when, and this goes back to what we're talking about with the bodies here of this reality. So when you're in this darker reality, you put it out and it comes back in, and it has to reverberate through your own body to come back in. So that's where this part is at. Then we've got somebody who's resonating on a higher frequency, and they're gonna actually, you think of this like a ladder almost, in the sense that someone up here is actually going to be able to see from a much higher vantage point. You're actually not, if you're coming from this place and you're looking at Earth, you're not just limited to Earth coming back at you here. You actually get to see all of this, except now it doesn't, you don't feel it. You just have love for it, and you're not attached to it. You understand it, but it doesn't consume you. So someone from this vantage point here can only see whatever vantage point lower. Okay? And Earth is actually, to be honest, Earth is along this entire spectrum here. This is all like Earth. Your version of Earth can exist in any of these. Someone who's here. Whoa. Someone who's here on the scale can see this part of Earth, and it reflects, and they can see below this. Okay, so this is all their domain, is where they are and lower. Someone who is up here in the pink zone, let's say, can see from here, and then they can see everything below it, all the way down. But they don't feel it. So it's like even someone who's like depressed, they're like, wow, at least I'm not like on drugs. Whatever your reality is. The vantage point, the better it is for you to be able to see reality, and you actually have a better vantage point. Your protection. So let's say that you have paranoia and you're afraid that someone's out to get you. A lot of times people who are paranoid are down like somewhere in here, right? And they're going to say, oh, all these people above me are out to get me. And remember, we're not talking above in the traditional sense that we've been taught. of someone who's rich or someone who's famous or someone who has a better job or something like that. That's not real. That's bullshit. We're talking about spiritual progress. We're talking about people who have gone on the path of joy, who have found love for themselves and for the world, and who reside on a high frequency. And whether or not you believe on high frequency, sometimes it's about teachers and people that trick other people. Sometimes someone who's down here will get tricked by someone who's just like a couple steps above, and they're all living in this duality existence of black and white thinking, of being of competition, of getting what you can from somebody else. But the truth is that I would say there is a threshold of people who go on spiritual progress, who are in this black and white box, who might still be working in competition, in trying to hurt other people, in all that. But there's a certain level that you get into where you realize this is the all one consciousness up here. Once you understand the all one, once you understand that we are all one, you no longer have the desire or the need to hurt anyone. You just recognize that you understand this law, that whatever energy you cultivate and you send out is going to reach that person and it's going to be returned. So from this higher vantage point, you actually are more protected. And this is because of this vantage point, okay? When you are in this higher frequency, you have a higher perspective. You have a higher understanding of reality. This is going to be outside of fear and pain. This is rising out of fear and pain into this place because you realize that you are in alignment with divinity. To the unconditional love and compassion that comes from understanding that we are all one, and that comes from understanding this law that your energy is your domain. When you rise and raise up your energy, do not concern yourself with the outer world. When you focus on your heart, your joy, your realities, where you say, well, how am I supposed to love a murderer? How am I supposed to love a rapist? How am I supposed to love this and that? I'm not them. I didn't enslave black people. It's separationist. But the only way you can really come to the understanding of all one is by finding your own divinity. So when we talk about all one, a lot of times I think people want to externalize what that means. They want to look outside themselves and say, well, I guess that's me. I guess this is me. And then maybe you feel bad because you're like, how is there so much evil in the world if I'm understanding of all one in this section of portal energy, of this difficult area to break through, of duality, of you, of us versus them? It's an internal process. Don't even look outside yourself. Don't even concern yourself with it. Look inside yourself and say, where do I feel judgment? Where do I feel mean? Where do I feel scared? Where do I feel like I'm putting someone else down? Because then you realize I'm putting myself down, and that's my energy. Oh, and I was like thinking, she sounds crazy. But truly, I didn't believe she sounded crazy. I was afraid for her to sound crazy to other people. From my perspective, I was like, I know she's telling the truth. I know that this is probably real, and I think that she is aligned. But I worried for her and then put judgment on what they might. So this is a judgment on someone else. And when you look at a judgment for someone else, realize that it's to actually be perceived as weird put on other people. It's like if you think, oh, look at that ugly fat person. It's like you're afraid to be fat. This is all this is real. And that's why there's a lot of homophobic people who are actually gay, because it's coming from fear. We can only look within ourselves and understand this. And so that's your journey, is to go within and monitor your harmonious state. As you align your energy to your divine harmony, and harmonious state is joy. How do you feel truly happy? Not malicious happy, not one up on somebody happy, but truly nourished, truly supported. How do you feel that within your own consciousness? As you go on this journey and you learn how to truly nourish your own energy, you will rise out of duality thinking into all one consciousness. And as you go up in this scale, you have unconditional pain and this pain. You just have compassion for it. So let's say you're here. Somebody here thinks that you're evil for whatever reason, and they say, "I'm gonna curse that person. I'm gonna hurt them." What do you think is gonna happen from what we've talked about? This person who's down here is going to simply create on the right here we have physical reality. So this person is trying really hard to ruin this pink person's life, because for whatever reason they think that's what their mission is to do. So they're going to send out these waves of negative energy that are going to reach into physical reality, into other people's social reality. And these, you might cause quite a lot of damage. But where do you cause this damage? In a limited band frequency. And everyone above sees it. And they go, wow, is that true? And they check their own thing and they say, wow, it's not true. Because as you rise up, this is a higher vantage point. You can see the truth. You're telepathic. You understand everyone's root intention. And the only way you can actually get this, you know, but I'm protected because I can see evil from a mile away. And I have compassion for it, and I just step out of the way. Because evil destroys itself. All that gossip, all that drama, I'm staying out of it. I'm just up here in unconditional love for everyone. I hope that they figure it out, and I pray for them to find their internal harmony so they stop trying to cause pain. Pink might be affected a little bit because it's concerning them. They might see it and be kind of hurt, like, why are you trying to hurt me? But also they'll know it's not true. And if they really are rooted in love and in divinity, they'll be like, it's all going to work out fine. There's another cosmic law that's very prevalent in my life, and I've been blessed to have this reality, but which we all are subject to. I'm going to spread all these lies. I'm going to create all these negative videos. I'm going to be a troll. I'm going to try to just destroy this person's life. They're going to cause maybe a little bit of harm, but ultimately the amount of energy that they're releasing on a daily basis is going to go toward, in its essence. Oh, what's the word? It's like, as it goes through, it filters it into a sort of, I'll just say corrupt it. It's like it like translates it. It's not clear. This hasn't been a clear return in most people's life. In my life, it has. Anytime someone has an aura very strongly because of where I come from and because of who I am, and that's just the gift that I was born with. So whenever someone tries to hurt me, it actually helps me. Don't go around trying to hurt me. It helps me a lot more if you try to help me. But the energy of the, because I'm connected to all one. I want you to be happy. I don't want harm to come to you. So energy just still comes to me. I have to deal with it. I have to transmute it. I have to figure out how to feel. But the reason why I am so powerful is because people have sent so much negative energy to me, and I've taken the pure information from it, and I've said okay, and I understand their reality, and I learn how to communicate better. so that I can reach people who are also the same. So it doesn't affect me in a negative way. I send love to them. I hope that they find their joy because I want them to find their joy, because it benefits me, it benefits the world, it benefits all of us if we're all aligned with our highest joy. But anytime someone tries to criticize me or harm me, I simply learn from it. And I'm blessed to have the perception and the ability to do so. But on a cosmic scale, this is also true, because energy given is energy given. Focus on anything creates it. So is black magic necessary? No, never. You have the same feeling all magic expects, that you have the same feeling inside yourself before anyone else feels it. Is black magic necessary for protection? No. Internal harmony and rising up into a state of unconditional love for yourself first, and cultivating your most nourished joy within your own consciousness of protection, of divine protection. The strongest protection that you can have is a powerful aura. You can pick up books about psychic protection. It will always talk about your aura. Creating a strong aura comes from being in alignment. And being in alignment is opening up your consciousness to the highest consciousness that you can fathom. In Unicult, we call this something higher. When you open up your higher consciousness to the highest consciousness you can fathom, that's Daddy, I'm God, bow down. No, that's egoic. You recognize that's me and it's you. And it's you and it's you and it's you. And we are all it. And only by recognizing it within yourself do you recognize the highest energy in each person. And only by recognizing the highest energy in each person can you truly fathom how we are all one. So as you create the most nourished sense of self, by following your whim, by speaking your truth, by being who you really are, by creating your own internal possible, do you allow protection to flow from you? And protection includes compassion. Compassion is not sacrifice. Sacrificing yourself does not actually protect you. It does not help anybody. Keeping yourself strong, keeping your aura, and a strong aura comes from a nourished soul. Spirit of Uni, we bless this chat room. We bless every person watching. We bless everyone who's heard this message. Everyone has an aura. I think someone's asking if you have an aura. I think if you're down here, you might not feel like you have an aura, but everybody has an aura. Because your aura is simply, it's like saying, everyone has an aura. It's like saying somebody doesn't have like a thought. Your body is electricity. And how brightly that electricity glows is your aura. So your nerves, your brain, your entire body structure is made of electricity. This electricity comes from the divine source. It comes from the food we eat, we cycle through, it comes from the earth, but primarily, and our bodies, have self-regulating, but primarily the spark of life, this you-ness, this energy of life, the idea of life comes from, and qualifying it with, you become very bright.